I watched season 2 of Arcane on Netflix, and if you're curious about checking out the new season, you are in the right spot. Hey movie watchers, my name is Justin. All I do here is watch movies and shows. Netflix's big animated series continues the conflict between Vi and Jinx, but it is the last season. But is it any good? Let's get into it. Arcane follows the origins of two iconic league champions set in the utopian Piltover and the oppressed underground of Zaun. I can't believe it's already been 3 years since the release of Arcane Season 1. The animated show wowed fans and it became one of the biggest animated shows on Netflix. But Netflix has been hyping it up as the final season, and I expected a lot from the final season of Arcane. And oh boy, did it deliver. At the events of season 1 with Vi and Jinx, season 2 builds on the tension between them, but successfully explores more of the rich utopian city of Piltover in the oppressed Zaun. The attack at the end of season 1 allows for this show to have that sense of urgency and build off of what the first season was able to accomplish when it came to that development between Vi and Jinx and exploring more of that tension between the two, but allowing for the conflict between Piltover and Zaun to be fleshed out within season 2. There's a lot of great things that they do within this show when it comes to the character development, the lore within the world, the animation, the action. It's all nicely polished for a final season of a very short animated show. Despite that tension between Vi and Jinx that was perfectly explored within season 1, season 2 allows for them to feel even more emotional and personal. Despite that conflict, they still feel broken. They still feel like people with raw emotions and personality when you have a lot of arguments going on between the two and that tension that is still continuing to rise. They have enough dedication to them as characters in watching them explore. And as we get more accustomed to their position within Arcane Season 2, there's a lot of emotion that's able to push its way throughout the show. And you feel even more connected to who they are and their situation and that tension between them. It's able to grow these characters in a very natural way, and you just care so deeply about them and exploring those relationships within season 2. But with enough development in season 2, the two are able to look at the bigger picture within Zaun and Piltover, which adds to the scope of the new season. With the technology growing, you do have a lot of fast-paced action scenes and a lot of energy within here. The soundtrack is able to amplify these scenes. It's able to give it a punch to the show and feels like there's this jolt throughout season 2 and give it an edge over other Netflix animated shows. The animation is still spectacular with a lot of grittiness. The use of dark colors and neon colors gives it that contrast, but gives it a distinct look to it. When you have some flashback scenes, the animation changes. When you have some emotional scenes as well, the animation is changing to adjust itself to that scene. And new characters are introduced that I don't want to spoil, that only add to how these characters are developed and bringing out a different side to them, to where you see that they do care despite that conflict and that tension that is arising between Vi and Jinx, but also Zaun and Piltover. There's a lot that the series does when it comes to the other characters, and watching the battle between this rich city of Piltover and the oppressed Zaun and seeing how they are fighting against each other. These characters that are playing these key roles within season 2 is able to add to the lore within this show. It successfully builds off of that first season with the conflict arising and the attack at the end of season 1. We do get a nice build off of that and seeing where it's going and seeing how characters are teaming up with each other to fight against others. It's nicely explored with a lot of action. Real quick, if you are interested in watching Arcane Season 2, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you have seen Arcane Season 2, comment down below with your thoughts on the show. While this is a really good show and a great animated season on Netflix, it does have its flaws. A lot of the show is dedicated to Jinx and Vi and their development, looking at their relationship, and that's rightfully so. I believe that the show is very strong when it looks at that relationship, and that relationship that progresses throughout. You get a lot of emotion behind it and seeing these characters move forward in a strong way. But with so much dedication to them, a lot of the scenes within Piltover and Zaun and some of the minor characters, they don't have that strong chance to have that development, to be fleshed out because of all that dedication when it comes to some of the minor characters that have relationships with Jinx and Vi. You don't have so much of that action when it comes to other characters outside of Vi and Jinx. I love those two characters and how they were separated within season 1 and watching that play a huge part within season 2. But I wanted more of the lore and dedication to Zaun and Piltover, and I know that both of them play a key role within that storyline, but I wanted to see more of the story kind of push its way out when it came to other characters. But I still thought that Arcane Season 2 was worth my time and a very strong season and a great continuation of Season 1. Love to see more Arcane, but for right now, it is the final season. And I've only seen episodes 1 through 6, and there are episodes 7, 8, 9 that I have not seen. But these 6 episodes that Netflix has allowed for me to watch are really strong. I'm going to go ahead and give Arcane Season 2 an A-. Thank you guys for checking my review for Arcane Season 2 on Netflix. Have you guys seen it by chance? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.